Today marks the 23rd anniversary of 9/11. September 11th, 2001, 2,977 innocent lives were lost in an act of terrorism. And most of you that were alive during that time, if you were old enough to understand what was happening, will never forget that moment. Whether you were a US citizen at that time or living somewhere else in the world, you'll still never forget that time. Many people will never forget even the clothes they were wearing. I will never forget being woken up with a phone call from my brother-in-law asking if I was okay, because 24 hours before, I was in New York City. I was on the East Coast. In fact, literally 24 hours before 9/11, I was on the same plane from Maine to Boston that one of the terrorists flew on, the exact same plane 24 hours previously. I got that close to being involved in somehow, or being one seat away perhaps from the person that went on and coordinated the effort that took 2,977 lives. So when I understood that connection, it really hit home. But I want to plead to you who's watching this, because last night during the presidential debate, I was literally sickened at how far we have come and how far we've gotten away from the pride and the unity and the patriotism that we had on 9/11 and the weeks and months afterward. It didn't matter whether you believed in tariffs or taxing billionaires, or whether or not we had an open southern border, or what the cost of gas or the cost of eggs or any of that. None of that mattered, whether you believe in big government or little government, or you believe in a faith or you have no faith, or whether you're pro-life or pro-choice. None of that mattered on the morning of 9/11, 2001. What mattered is we were all being attacked, and we were all subjected to an act of terrorism that literally took 2,977 lives, while millions and hundreds of millions of people from around the world, maybe billions of people from around the world, watched it unfold. The world will never be the same. But that was only 23 years ago, and how far have we come? How far have we gotten away from the unity that we had on that morning and the weeks and months afterward? I saw atheists and Christians hugging each other and working together. People of all skin colors on their knees working together to dig people out and find survivors in New York City. It didn't matter whether you had a faith or not, or what political party or not. The person sitting next to you didn't care if you were a Republican or Democrat. They were trying to save lives. Where have we gone so far astray that we let little tedious, mundane, little minutia divide us of the whole purpose of who we are as people, that we all have a job to do? And that is to make others feel better. That is to make ourselves, first and foremost, feel better, and then extend that love and acceptance and gratitude and favor to everyone else around us. That's what God would want from us. I can only imagine what God's doing in heaven right now, watching as we are literally self-destructing. We are so far away. We are worse off now than we were before 9/11. We have more hatred, more division, more racism, more slandering than ever before, than I've ever seen in my 59 years of life. I'm sickened by what is happening every single day. The finger pointing, well, he said this and she said that. And most of it lies. And here's the thing too, in real time, the moderators were listening to what they knew were lies and didn't call them out. Maybe you were listening to what you knew were lies and didn't call them out. That's a problem, my friends. We need to stand up for what's right. We need to stand up for truth. We need to stand up for righteousness. We need to stand up for our fellow man. regardless of their skin color, regardless of what neighborhood they live in, regardless of what kind of car they drive, if they have a job, if they're sitting on a street corner or laying on a piece of cardboard, or whether they live in a mansion in Beverly Hills. It doesn't freaking matter. What matters is we're all human beings, and we need to pull our heads out of our collective asses and start acting like human beings who love each other, who love the planet we live on, rather than risking the fact that someone could touch a button and blow us all to kingdom come. How are we not seeing this? We are worried more about gas prices and whether this is the first black woman who could become president and all crazy, idiotic stuff like that. It doesn't freaking matter if none of us are going to be here. It doesn't matter if we don't have a country. It doesn't matter if we don't have a family. It doesn't matter if we don't have a planet to live on, if we can't breathe the air or drink the water or eat the food, because we're so freaking stupid and short-sighted that we argue about little freaking details and we lie about it because we have to lie to make someone else look bad so we can make ourselves look good. I was sickened last night. Charlottesville was a bullcrap lie and everybody knows it. That's not what the context was. Suckers and losers, that's not what the context was. But we sit there and we listen to news who is force-feeding us crap, and we swallow and ask for another bite. That is lunacy, my friends. On this day where 2,977 lives were lost, can we please just remember what that felt like to be attacked? Because we are going to be attacked from the inside this time. We are attacking ourselves. Just look around. We're not talking about the merits of the policy that we have coming. We're talking about how bad the other person is, and we are sitting there and we're watching it and we're cheering for the other team and we're cheering for our team. We're wishing bad on the other team. That's not human behavior, my friends. That's barbaric behavior. Let's stop it. And let's stop it now. Now. Because we can't forget what happened that day. We can't forget the lessons we learned on unity and patriotism and coming together for common good. Our world is way worse off now than it was on September 10th of 2001. Way worse off. We are closer to nuclear war than we ever have been, and we're acting like what matters most is having a female president over keeping our world safe. And I have nothing against the world's first female president of the United States. I don't. What I have against everyone who's trying to vote that person in for that reason, and that's the wrong reason. And I have nothing against her. Anybody in that situation, it's a bad reason. What we need to do is focus on unity and come together and ask ourselves collectively, what person is best for our country moving forward? And I'm not going to answer that. I'm going to answer that on the day that I go vote, but you need to answer that too, for the right reasons, for security reasons, for the moving on of our country. And let's just focus on unity, please. Can we get focusing on unity and what makes us the same? Not what divides us. I heard that last night. And I'm glad I heard it, because I agree. We need to focus on that. Otherwise, we're going to completely lose ourselves, and we may just lose this world. I think the United States is the glue that holds this world together. And if we go down, the world goes down. And it's been prophesied in the Bible, so it shouldn't surprise anyone, except for the people who don't read the Bible. But it's been prophesied. These are the end days. Unfortunately. But let's just focus on what we have in common and loving our fellow man, regardless of skin color, ideology, faith, because it's all about, what would Jesus do? Jesus loved everyone. Let's focus on being like Jesus and loving everyone, especially if they have something different to say than us, they look different than us, they believe different than us. We could learn something from each other if we just adopted that. Love everyone. Let's focus on that. Let's not let those 2,977 lives that were lost senselessly be in vain. Let them teach us something. They're all looking down at us, shaking their heads and crying that we have so lost our way. Let's come back around, my friend. Let's come back around. Intentionally, we can choose to come back around. We can. Because if we forget the pain that people have caused us, we will lose the strength that we have. Or if people took back the pain they caused us, we would lose the strength we gained as a result. And we are all stronger because of 9/11. At least we were. Can we get back to that? Can we focus on that before we repeat the cycle ourselves and at our own hand this time, rather than the hands of terrorists? Let's stop pointing fingers, because all the finger pointing that they were doing last night, forget when you point one finger out, 3 fingers are pointing back at you. Let us all remember that. And let's stop pointing fingers, and let's start giving hugs and embracing people and talking to people and loving people and being grateful for the people around us, making smiles. Let's do that. Let's do that. Because if people took back the pain they caused us, we'd lose the strength we got from it. Let's remember that. We are all strong, and we are stronger together. Have a great day. Take care, and God bless. And let's remember those who lost their lives on this day 23 years ago. God bless you.